Good evening, my friend. Um, Wrong time. I haven't seen it on the Facebook account. I just got many other things to do in recent day, and I just have get started with my new project. And actually, I think the almost all cockpit section has already painted and done, and it's not so obvious and interesting part, but what am I doing is I just put some tipping effect on the black console panel using by the watercolor pencil, which is silver. I think if you go the shops nearby, you can get the not only the silver paint, you can find other colors which is like gray, brown, and red brown. Many colors of the I think watercolor pencil, you can get it very easily, and you don't have to prepare the whole color. You know, you just can get what you are going to paint is fine. This is white. At least if you have several colors, which is brown or red or black or silver. So if you just prepare a silver color, it's just fine. And before you are doing this, I think every kind of weathering effect must be needed before you do it. Is whether the condition of the surface is good enough to do that or not. I mean, if the surface itself is very glossy, the paint, what you're going to do is sometimes it cannot be get a good result. If the surface is very glossy, I mean the color itself is very hard to put it on it. So in this case, the basic color itself has some flat container, so I just didn't have to. But if the surface is very glossy, you just can use the flat coat before you doing this to make sure that the condition is fine. And it's not only this kind of effect. If you are doing with some other like enamel, paint, weathering, things like that, you just can need it. Prepare to make the nice condition. And the basic color is very important because the because it's very hard to say that. If the basic color is so bright, the pencil color is so bright, of course the effect itself seems not so good, well. I mean, if you put the silver colored surface, put on the same color like silver, and the effect itself, it is not seems to be very obvious, right? You cannot see anyway. So in this case, I put the black color, so I just can use the silver pencil, right? Because the brightness is totally different, so the people can easily to see Okay, it has some tipping effect on it, but the color itself is so bright on a base color. If you're doing so well, in the result itself is not so obvious, and it's sometimes it doesn't seem to be very interesting, right? So first thing is the first. Try to aim the corner of the part and just put the pencil, not drawing the line, just put tip like a tip, right? Like a stamp. You simply stamp on it, not drawing. You just tip the like a top. If you are trying to draw some kind of the tipped figure, I think the effect itself is so obvious too much. So I think sometimes you have to erase that and do it again. So in that case, I just can tip and top. And if you are doing so much, or you just wanna erase that, simply using by the cotton swab, contain with the water is fine. I think enamel thinner is fine. Just simply erase that and try that again. Very nice and easy. And the good point to using this kind of techniques is it's not using for the tipping effect. If you are, not familiar with the dry brush techniques, using by the some kind of brush, and just to try to make a very bright color on the edge of the part. Sometimes it's very, some people are very not familiar with that, because the dry brush technique itself, as I think, I cannot say this is really easy. Dry brush technique itself is a little bit difficult. So in that case, I can just use the pencil, right? The effect that you really want to make, like dry brush result, is also useful. It's not for only tipping. And try to find your better way to get a good result, what you really want to, right? As I can tell you, this kind of techniques is not only the very specific purpose. You just can use the dry brush, or if you really want to make oil rig, you just can easily draw the line, not today, but if you are doing the other part. I think the pencil technique is pretty easy and I think I can recommend you to using this. And I've got not so much things to tell you right now. It's just simply cockpit. And as you can see, the very tiny line right here, you can see the white line, right? Not white actually, but you can see the very tiny line on the console panel. In that case, I just use the panel line color. This is light gray. Of course, you can prepare with the white enamel color, mixing the enamel thinner by yourself, which is pretty fine. But if you prepare simply like this kind of material, it's very easy to put. And like it's the same techniques as the simply panel line effect, right? I think, for example, you don't put so much color on it. You just simply a little bit is fine, right? You can see a very small and tiny line on it, which makes the model itself is more dramatically realistic. If you just if you are compare with the result, just simply put the paint as black, I think the information that the experience, the expression much better than you just simply put the black color, of course. And you just wait a little bit and try to erase unnecessary part using by cotton swab filling with the enamel thinner. Try to wipe it off. Just simply erased. It's not difficult at all. Something like that. Okay. And there are other things that I can tell you or not. I think that is pretty fine. The tipping effect has some other things to do to express, because of course, but in that case, the very in that case of the cockpit itself is very narrow and small. Sometimes the result itself cannot be seen so well. I think most of the part will hide it. So if you are doing some small things to put in, to get a very tiny result, I can just recommend some kind of small techniques. And of course the result is not so obvious, but at least it makes more dramatic and nice, I believe. Okay, I think almost of things have nicely done. And you can use the pencil not only here. You can use this side to the corner and this side to the front surface, right? You just try to find your better way to handle it. I think that is very important. And that's it.